Ladies, gentlemen, and NB friends, good morning. It is a little bit rainy and gross outside today. And I noticed that in the rain, I thought, it's so gloomy, it's so humdrum this morning, that I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind. Ever since it came out, I wanted to talk about this manga. It started out as a meme where people were making it up as a big deal, and it was really weird, and I thought it was kind of odd that everyone was doing this. It was in the same vein as the Morbius memes, where it was like, there's the Morbius sweep. The movie Morbius will sweep the box office for the summer, even though it's god awful. And that's what I thought going into this. I thought it was going to be something similar to that, and they were just hyping this up as a weird thing. It showed up with already having its own video game within a few weeks of the first chapter coming out. I saw a really well animated, like a fake scene from the anime for this that also did not exist. And then just the meme of it kept growing and growing and growing. Finally, I started reading it. Today's topic is Kagurabachi. I am Kagurabachiing all over the place today. But first, before we get into it, I must talk about our sponsor. Stop what you're doing right there. Are you listening to this in the background? Are you going over and playing a video game while you're listening to me talk about manga? What if I told you you could get paid to play that game? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today's sponsor is freecash.com. Freecash.com is a website you can go to and get paid to play games, take surveys, and even test apps. After doing individual offers, you will be credited a balance into your freecash.com account. Completing offers into Freecash literally shows you exactly how much money that you earn from each individual offer, and you can withdraw those to a bunch of different things. Anywhere from PayPal to direct bank transfers, all the way to things, my personal favorites, like Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, even Valorant points and League of Legends points. If you want to get those skins, this is a very easy way to do that. Apparently, they've also added DoorDash and Minecraft since the last time I've recorded this ad spot, so hey, that's pretty cool. So if you'd like to get started earning some free cash today, head on over to freecash.com/r/BaronJ or use code BaronJ when you sign up. Get started making your free cash today. Yes, Kagurabachi. Kagurabachi. It is really, really good, and that's the thing. I was not expecting Kagurabachi to be as good as it is. I was expecting it to be overhyped, because that's kind of what I think the meme stemmed from, was that Shonen Jump released like a full color page spread or something before it came out, and they were like, oh damn, what is this? And people were freaking out like, oh, this is going to be the next big thing. And then people took that enthusiasm that they were sort of forcing into Shonen Jump to be like, oh, this is going to be like Morbius. It's going to be like the Morbius sweep. And that's where the memes came from. And then lo and behold, the first few chapters came out, and other than my sort of strange complaint about the first few chapters, which has gone away, it's really good. Like, it's quite good, and I really enjoy what I'm seeing so far. But first and foremost, let me give you the story. Kagurabachi is done by Takeru Hokazono, who is the same guy, if I'm not mistaken, that did N10, that one-shot. Yes, same person. And I really like the style, although I will mention some stuff about the art later. We'll talk about that because it has to do with something I talked about before. But anyway, the basic plot, wow, I'm looking at a synopsis so that I don't get it wrong, and I'm just like, wow, there's literally one paragraph. Chihiro Rokuhira, the son of the renowned blacksmith who forged, how many? Six enchanted swords, seeks revenge against people that are using the swords wrong. And that's the entire manga. Like, that's the entire thing. Is he is just, I am Swordman. I am son of Swordman. He only made 6 swords, and I'm going to get all those swords back and kill anyone that has them. And that's the entire thing. He has a friend who can teleport. Sort of the implication is that there is sort of a sorcery that is available to be done in the world that you can use. And then there is also magic that can be put into swords or magic like implementation in swords, and that is the most powerful form of sorcery. And there's only 6 of them, technically 7, because our boy Chihiro has one that he uses himself. And yeah, it's interesting. It's fascinating. The first part deals with him tracking down a couple of the swords, and in also finding people that have sorcery or powers that involve the blades in some ways, or are like related tangentially to the blades. The first one is a girl, a young girl, who is being chased by a guy that does possess one of the blades. So she's just like a problem that's tacked on to the first one that he's tracking down. And what we're getting so far from the plot, and what I will say, is he undertakes a bit of a humanizing journey, but is still locked on the revenge of the blades. It's a little bit of a back and forth right now. And 23. Yeah, there's only 23 chapters out so far. Oh, new one comes out tomorrow. That's convenient. But the main thing that I have noticed is that there is a bit of a humanizing process where his master, his dad, is a lot more expressive than he is, and he is a little bit more serious. And well, I say a little bit more. He is very one note. He is very much like, I am John Wick with magic sword. I am going to chase down these people. And what we are getting is a sort of humanization journey of this guy having to deal with a little girl. He sort of regains a bit of his nicety or like humanization. And I feel like the journey that we're getting is more and more, or rather, it's less and less revenge story and more like, maybe revenge is not the answer. Maybe it's making peace to a certain degree with myself, but there's still revenge involved. Like, he's still very much like trying to kill every person that has one of these magic swords. And for good reason, as we find out in some of the first like 10 or so chapters. The other magic blade, first off, his magic blade, the one that he has, his enchanted blade, is pretty fascinating. It's sort of it's very regularly described as being a very ornamental sword rather than a sword someone should use for combat. And it comes across as it has a set of abilities, which I won't spoil for you because I do genuinely think you should like learn about it as you read it. But he has a lot of very interesting, it's like there's a set of 3 abilities that he gets with this. They're all based on fish. That it's sort of like goldfish that I think the old master, his master had. He buys goldfish in the flashback, and I think the implication is that he didn't create the blade that Chihiro uses, and that Chihiro created the blade. That may actually be the case, and I'm forgetting it in this moment, but I'm pretty sure that is the implication. But overall, as plot goes, I'll say so far it's very, very good. It's very, very good. Definitely more interesting than what people were probably expecting from this at the beginning. As far as the art goes, let's talk about the art for a second. I want to get this out of the way because this was a complaint that I had in the Shonen Jump episode that I did at least a month ago at this point. And I'm bringing it up again because I made a comment. I made an aside about how I said the faces all look the same. The faces are all drawn the same way. And for the first few chapters, it does look like I don't know if it's just because of where everyone's faces are in shots or something like that, the dialogue, but they all do have the same kind of expression. It is sort of like slightly mouth open, all looking off screen. Let me bring up the first chapter because I think I know what I'm going at here, but I have to retract my statement because I think I was going a little too fast through it the first time I looked at it. I think the implication, and I think what he is trying to display in the art, is that the main character has the same expression because he doesn't really change expressions. And I think I might have missed that in the subtext of it. He's very one note, like I was saying before. He's very one note. He doesn't express too much. His partner is much more expressive, our blonde friend that teleports. And there's definitely a lot of variance in the expressions of all of the other characters. So I think that was just coming from a place of, when I was saying it before, I had just started reading it, or at least I had not like fully caught up with the manga, because I do remember after I did that, I did read like 10 chapters of it and go, oh, wait a minute, this is different. So yeah, I completely take that criticism back. There is a lot of variance in the expression of people in the manga. I just think I couldn't get used to the way the mouths were drawn. It was a little, I guess that was a little jarring for me. The other thing that I have to say is the art for this is really good. Really good. All of the same compliments that I usually give Shonen for action and animation. However, the actual sword fighting in this, God, there is a shot from chapter 1, page 41, with him bringing the blade through like 4 people all sitting in a row, or 3 people. It's this really, really dynamic shot of him with the blade spinning around, and you can see he's been drawn. His coat is drawn with like a circle spiral through the entire design of Chihiro bringing his sword through all these guys' necks. It is such a cool fucking shot. It is such a cool fucking design. The shading of Chihiro with like all of the cross hatching and line hatching on his jacket in some of the following panels that they do, the overall art, the overall choreography of the fights, the magic swords that he does use, stuff like that, it's just fucking cool. It's really fucking cool. This first chapter has so many shots of just him in the air, swinging the sword around, doing crazy stuff with the fish blade. Just nutty stuff. It's absolutely insane what this author gets away with in terms of framing, direction, and how the motion of the sword fighter looks in the manga itself. It is absolutely fantastic. I have now that I've like actually read through the entire thing, I have little to no complaint about the art for this manga. It is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. So let that be my statement, as I take back everything I said about this. Kagurabachi is sweeping Shonen Jump right now. I cannot wait for the anime that came out last month. I cannot wait for it to get translated. Fan subbers, get on that shit. Yeah, it is quite good. I do imagine that this will be probably picked up as an anime. I don't know about how soon. Maybe once they get to like chapter 30, they might start thinking about adapting it, because I think there's a full season arc there, and by the time that would be done, there'd be enough for probably another arc based on the last few chapters. So I think it's doable. I think it's definitely doable. Yeah, overall, strong recommend from me. I give a lot of strong recommends. I tend to only talk about the stuff that I like, with some exceptions. So maybe I need to pick some stuff that I'd be angry at. I don't know. Possibly. All right, ladies, gentlemen, NB friends, thank you so much for coming by my Manga Corner. Please check out our sponsor and do me a favor and continue to like and subscribe. Like the video mainly. I'm trying to look at a metric for likes that I have discovered with my videos, and I want to see what the deal with that is. So keep on liking the videos if you like them, if you can. If you're listening through a podcast app, thank you. That's an interesting bit of traffic. I get more traffic from podcast apps, oddly enough. So I mean, the only one it should be available on right now is YouTube Music. So that's fascinating. I'm working on Spotify and other stuff, but right now it is mostly YouTube Music. So if you're listening through YouTube Music, thanks. That's cool. Anyway, thank you all so much. Bye-bye.